no? Hindi ba? Wait lang. Ah, okay, so yan. So again, so we will continue. So again, the nature and scope of criminological research. So again, we have the physical sciences, we have the biological sciences, and of course, we have the social sciences. Okay, class. Kung dito yung scope ng criminological research, so saan dito na belong ang tinatawag natin na criminological research, class? Okay, sa tatlo na yan, saan sila na belong? Okay? Saan nabilong ang criminological research? Okay, saan nabilong yung tinatawag natin na criminological research class? Okay, so yan. Okay, so very good. So sinabi ni Abro din, of course, that is ang criminological research class that belongs to tinatawag natin na social sciences. Kasi again, tandaan nyo that sociology is the mother science of criminology. So kaya di ba nagkaroon tayo ng independent criminology? So meaning, we are now an independent science away from sociology. Kasi dati class, under the umbrella pa ang tinatawag natin na criminology. So mother science ng criminology class is the sociology. So that's why among the three nature and scope of criminology or criminological research, dito na belong si criminological research class sa social sciences na tinatawag natin. Okay? So next. Okay, then of course, we have ang research. It was involves yung tinatawag natin na original works, yung mga literature review or yung mga literature na the works of scholars that when being published sa mga journals, studies, mga relevant laws, and of course, relevant readings instead of a mere exercise of opinion. So again, ang research class does not belong or hindi lang yan umiikot sa opinion class or opinion is not allowed. Okay? It should be sa works ng scholars, yung mga tinatawag natin na literature, yung mga studies and reading. So that is the research. Okay? Ganyan yung research class, hindi naka-base sa opinion. Then, of course, yung research evolves from a genuine desire to know or to prove something rather than a desire to probe class. Ibig sabihin malaman than to prove something. Okay? So, iba kasi ang probe sa tinatawag natin na prove. Okay? So, ayan. So, next. Of course, yun yung tinatawag natin kanina na ethical considerations and research. So, ibig sabihin ng ethical considerations and research, ito yung dapat na isa lang alang ng bawat researcher class para, of course, walang masagasaan or walang tinatawag na nila mapahama. Okay, lalong-lalo na yung tinatawag na nila subject in a research agenda or in a research paper. So, of course, ang first natin na consideration and research, of course, that is the veracity or yung tinatawag natin na accurate analysis of and reporting. So, in accurate analysis and reporting, so it is, as a researcher class, it is our obligation to tell the truth. Of course, not to lie or to deceive others. Dapat kapag nagkakaroon ka ng survey or nagkakaroon ka ng questioning, dapat sabihin mo sa subject, okay, ganito Mr. A, ganito yung purpose ng research na to. Okay? So, ganito yung true purpose niya. Hindi yung magsisinungaling ka sa kanya kung ano yung true purpose or true yung goal ng research mo. Okay? So, yan. Again, pag sinabi natin veracity or accurate analysis and reporting, it is your obligation to tell the truth and of course not to lie or deceive others. Then second we have the privacy. Of course, privacy is very important. Of course, it is our obligation to maintain the state or condition of limited access to a person. So meaning kapag nakuha mo yung mga data galing sa yung informants or key informants or your population or respondents. So it is your obligation to maintain that state of privacy. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo yan pwedeng i-divulge or hindi mo yan pwedeng sabihin sa lahat kung sino-sino lang yung maka-access sa kanila. Then, of course, we have the anonymity and confidentiality. So sa anonymity and confidentiality, it is your obligation not to divulge information discovered without the permission of the subject. Again, anonymity and confidentiality, it is your obligation not to divulge information discovered without the permission of the subject. So, ayan. So, ibig sabihin, dapat magpaalam ka muna before mo sabihin or before mo i-divulge yung tinatawag natin na information on the subject natin. Then, of course, we have the fidelity. So, ang fidelity class, it is your obligation to remain faithful to one's commitments, which includes keeping promises and maintaining confidentiality. Dapat lahat ng na na-acquire mo na it is your obligation to remain faithful. Sinabi mo sa iyong kapag sinabi mo sa iyong subject o yung mga respondent mo na ganito papangalagaan namin yung identity mo. So hindi namin i-divulge kahit kanino. So dapat ma-maintain yun. Plus. Okay. So okay, so please read again si ano nga muna. O nandito na si Che. Okay, kamusta ka Che? Okay Che? Okay, sige. Sige. Wala kayong face-to-face review ngayon?
Meron sir, pero wala naman. Ano sa school po, pero wala naman po.
Okay, sige, sige. Okay, sige. Pakibasa.
Ethical consideration in research, veracity or accurate analysis in reporting, the obligation to tell the truth, not to lie or deceive others, privacy. It is the obligation to maintain the state or condition of limited access to a person. Anonymity and confidentiality is the obligation not to divulge information discovered without the permission of the subject. Fidelity is the obligation to remain faithful to one's commitments, which includes keeping promises and maintaining confidentiality.
Okay, so yan yung mga some of the ethical considerations in research. Of course, ayan ka. So veracity or accurate analysis and reporting, privacy, anonymity, and confidentiality. Then of course, we have the fidelity. So yan class. Okay, of course, so we will continue with our discussion. Meron pa yan. Hindi lang yan dyan. Of course, kailangan rin natin yung tinatawag natin na informed consent. Okay, very important yung tinatawag natin na informed consent. Ibig sabihin, you will seek permission to the person or to the guardian, lalong-lalo na class kapag minors or minor yung magiging subject mo or magiging respondent or mga key informants o class. Informed consent. Kahit sino naman class, di ba? Kahit sino yung magiging respondent mo, kailangan mo you will ask permission first or you will seek permission. Kapag minor yan, you will seek the permission of the guardian. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na informed consent. Then of course, we have dapat siguraduhin mo as a researcher, no harm will happen or will arise during the conduct of research. So meaning it is your obligation not to conflict or not to inflict rather yung harm or endanger either the physical or psychological, even the social well-being of the respondent or yung tinatawag natin ngayon class na informants and others. Okay, so no harm. Then next, of course, we have the voluntary participation. Ibig sabihin, so dapat hindi mo pinilit class yung pag-participate ng isang respondent sa study mo. So it must be voluntary participation. Kasi of course, kapag pinilit mo yan, that is against the ethical considerations of research na dapat voluntary in nature. Okay? Walang pinipilit, wala kang nasasagasaan or wala kang nasasaktan. Then, of course, you must avoid deception or avoiding deception. So, palagi natin sinasabi, in conducting a research, you must avoid deception. Ibig sabihin, you must reveal first what is the real purpose of the research while you conduct a research. So para hindi ka para mabigay rin siya or hindi rin siya limited na magbigay ng sagot or at the same time sigurado siya na mapapangalagaan mo yung tinatawag natin na identity niya, your true or yung true identity niya. Okay? So that is what we call the avoiding deception. Then of course we have the cultural sensitivity. Of course, hindi na naman isang culture. So dapat alamin muna kung anong culture siya na belong. Then of course, dapat alam mo yung questioning mo is may limitation. Baka yung questions mo or yung pattern ng pag-question mo is against or is not in line with their cultural tradition or their cultural understanding. So dapat merong cultural understanding na mangyari diyan. So dapat you are sensitive na walang masagasaan or walang matakel na against their culture. Okay? So yan, yung tinatawag natin na cultural sensitivity. Then of course, we have the gender sensitivity. Okay? So of course, kapag babae, kapag children or mas bata yung inyong yung respondent in your research, dapat you are sensitive o gender. Okay, kapag babae, di ba? Tapos lalaki ka na researcher. So dapat you ask permission. Maybe this question is sensitive or hindi. So of course, malalaman mo naman, di ba? So dapat you don't go beyond the borders. Okay, so para again, gender sensitivity pa rin ang very important. Okay, so yan. Then, of course, next, we have the data privacy. Very important yung tinatawag na the data privacy. So, meaning class, kapag data privacy, ang lahat ng mga data collected, so dapat hindi mo yan i-divulge siya kasi kapag nagpumayag siya na maging respondent or key informant in your study, then after that, uh, pinangalanan mo or dinivulge mo kung sino yung respondent na to, ganito, ganyan. Okay, that is against the data privacy. Okay, so makakasuhan ka dyan, class. Of course, papasok yan yung data privacy law natin. Okay, so yan. So pakibasa ulit for tapos na si Che, no? Si Lawrence, pakibasa Lawrence.
Yes, sir. Informed consent or seeking person to the person or guardian. No harm is the obligation not to inflict harm, endanger either physical or psychological or socially. Voluntary participation, avoiding deception, reveal real purpose of the research, cultural sensitivity, gender sensitivity, and data privacy.
Hindi pala naka-on. So again, pag sinabi natin informed consent, dapat you must first seek permission to the person na kailangan mo i-interview or magkuha ka ng information or data sa kanya. Then kapag minor yan, dapat there is a permission from the guardian. Then yung no harm, dapat ibig sabihin, make sure class at the end of your research, there is no harm or danger on the part of the person. Maybe it is physically, socially, or psychologically. Then of course, there must be a voluntary participation on the part of the respondent or the informants. Then dapat avoid deception. Ibig sabihin, you must reveal the real purpose of the research. There is a cultural sensitivity, gender sensitivity, and above all, dapat ma-apply mo rin yung tinatawag na data privacy. Okay? So, yan yung kailangan natin, class. Or yan yung mga ethical considerations in research that we must apply or that we must observe. So, para hindi yung tinatawag natin na, okay, so hindi ma-technical or hindi ma-invalidate yung research paper mo, class. Okay? So, yan yung data privacy. Okay, next. Okay, so pakibasa. Then, of course, we will answer this one. Okay, how about Dan? Dan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige, go ahead.
The first comprehensive law covering data privacy in the Philippines. ARA 10174, BRA 11200, CRA 10173, DRA 10175.
Okay, so the first comprehensive law covering the data privacy in the Philippines. What is your answer, class? On the comment section, please. Bakit isa lang yung sumagot dito? Okay, so yan. How about others? Sorry. Okay, so again, the first comprehensive law covering the data privacy in the Philippines, of course, that is Republic Act 10173. Okay? So, bakit? Of course, class, ang 10175, that is the cybercrime law in the Philippines. Again, tandaan nyo, class, kapag ang ending niya, 10 sa nag-i-end sa 5, that is the cybercrime, while yung 10173, that is what we call the comprehensive law covering the data privacy in the Philippines. Then, of course, yung 11200, that is the PNP new rank classification. Then, ang tinatawag natin ng Republic Act 10174, that is the Climate Change Act. Okay, again, the first comprehensive law covering the data privacy in the Philippines, that is what we call the the Republic Act 10173. Kasi again, ang 10175, that is the cybercrime law in the Philippines. Okay? So, nakuha ba? Nakuha, class? Naintindihan? Kamusta? Okay, so yan. 10173. Very good yung mga students ko. Okay na ba? Naririnig niyo ako sa Zoom?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, tama yung mga sagot ninyo. Okay, so yan. So, then next, of course, pakibasa nga si Giselle. Giselle, pakibasa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige, thank you.
Method in criminological research that study intensively the background, current status, and environmental interactions of a given social unit. A. Descriptive method, historical method, case and field method, correlational method.
Okay, so, sige. Thank you. So, what is your answer, class? So, basahin ko. It is a method in criminological research that study intensively the background, the current status, and environmental interactions of a given social unit. Again, it is a method in criminological research that study on the background, current status, and environmental interactions of a given social unit. Is that descriptive method, historical, case and field, or correlational method? What is your answer? Okay, so let's answer this one, class. Okay, So okay, again, so it is a method in criminological research wherein the study is focused intensively on the background, the current status, and environmental interactions of a given social unit. Ang sagot natin dyan, class, that is the case and field method. So that is letter C. Very good. Okay, so majority of you got the correct answer. So si Hannah, si Lawrence, okay, very good, class. So ang tawag natin dyan is the case and field method, okay? So we already discussed that one kanina on our part 1. So meaning, there is an interaction, class, between the environment, okay, on a given social unit. So yung case and field method, di ba? Case study. Okay, so halimbawa yung sa mga sa tinatawag natin ng mga preso, di ba? Magkakaroon ka na case study doon. Titingnan mo ngayon yung kanyang background, yung current status niya as a person deprived of liberty, and of course, yung how he or she adopts on the existing environment on a given social unit. So that is the case and field method under the research natin class. Then of course, yung descriptive method, historical method, and other methods class, explain natin yan one by one mamaya. Okay, dito tayo. Then, of course, we have the different methods in criminological research. Again, so we have the different methods in criminological research. So let's explain one by one. That's kung ano yung mga methods na yan. Of course, we have the descriptive method. Okay, yung descriptive method class, of course, you need to describe systematically a situation or area of interest based on the factual evidence or based on the accurate data. Again, pag sinabi natin descriptive method, you will describe systematically a situation or area or phenomenon based on the factual evidence and accurate data submitted or collected. That is this descriptive method. From the word itself, descriptive. Then we have the historical method. Ang historical method class naman, you will reconstruct the past objectively and accurately. Ibig sabihin, history. Okay, you reconstruct. Ibig sabihin, parang bubuhayin mo yung past objectively and accurately. That is historical method of research. Then, of course, we have the case and field. Yung case and field method natin, class. That study intensively the background, the current status, and environmental interactions of a given social unit. That is the case and field method. So meaning, titingnan nila basically yung progress ng isang tao, kung saan siya nanggaling, paano siya nag-adapt on the existing environment, and of course, yung interaction niya on that given social unit or social environment, kung saan siya recently. That is the case and field method. Then, of course, we have the correlational method. From the word itself, correlational. Ibig sabihin, ang kinukuha natin dyan or nagbe-base tayo sa correlation coefficient na tinatawag natin. So, it investigate the extent to which variations in one factor correlate with other variations or yung tinatawag natin na other variables. Yan yung correlational methods. Again, naka-base yan sa tinatawag natin if there is a correlational coefficient. Number 5, of course, there is a causal, comparative, or ex post facto method. Again, pag sinabi natin causal, or comparative, or ex post facto methods, so it investigate class the cause and effect relationship between the different variables. Again, the causal, comparative, or ex post facto method, it investigate the possible cause and effect relationship between the different variables. Then we have the experimental method naman. It investigate the possible cause and effect relationship between two or more treatment conditions naman. Again, ang experimental method, there is to investigate the cause and effect between two or more treatment or conditions. Then of course, comparing the results to a control groups. Of course, ang experimental class, you want to, of course, there is an actual undertaking. Meron talang gagawing activities in class to experiment, to know the cause and relationship between two treatment or conditions. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na experimental methods. Okay? So yan. Thank you. Then, of course, let's have sa next natin. Next slide. Okay. So yun class yung mga different methods natin. Okay? So yan. Sige, pakibasa ng ating next question. Hana Binuya, please read.
Yes po, sir. Type of criminological research that study process and procedures for the improvement of a system. A. Action research. B. Survey research. C. Historical research. And D. Evaluation research.
Okay, so what is your answer, class? On the comment section, please. Okay, take your time in answering question. Again, do not answer letter. Answer word or words. Thank you. Let's answer this one. So again, the types of criminological research that study processes and procedures for the improvement of the system. Sinabi niya, improvement of the system, class. Okay, halimbawa, there is a process or there is a procedure. Titingnan ngayon, halimbawa, bakit mataas yung nakukuha ng tanatawag natin? Bakit kaya mataas yung nakukuha na average or na passing rate ng school na to? Bakit na-perfect nila yung kanilang board exam? While this particular school, bakit iisa lang or dadalawa lang yung pumapasa? Okay? So doon pa lang, class, sa processes and procedures, malalaman mo na naman. O malalaman mo na agad kung ano yung magiging answer. Okay? So ano yung magiging sagot natin, class? Okay? Okay, so ayan. So sinabi niya processes and procedures. Ibig sabihin, titingnan niya doon kung tinatawag natin. Of course, tama yan. So sino yung nakasagot? So ayan, very good, Hannah. That is evaluation research. Okay? So that is an evaluation research class. Titingnan ngayon kung tinatawag natin na merong procedures class on how they improve their process. Yan yung tinatawag natin na evaluation research. Nakuha nyo? Nakuha ba sino yung nagmali yung sagot kanina? Si Hana ba? Tama si Hana pala, tama. Okay, so wala kayong violent reaction. Si Dan, Giselle, Lawrence, Jamaica, walang violent reaction?
Wala po, sir.
Wala, okay, good. So yan. So next tayo, let's proceed sa next slide. Okay, then of course, class, we have the types of criminological research. So tandaan nyo, we have the different types of criminological research. So isa-isayin natin yan. So yan yung, of course, una dyan, we have the action research. Ang action research class, then of course, we have, pag sinabi natin action research, ang purpose yun is to develop new skills or new approaches. And of course, to solve problems with direct application to workplace and applied setting. That is the action research na tinatawag natin, class. So nag-example natin kanina, di ba, yung ginagawa ng mga teachers on how to improve the reading skills of the students. So that is an action research class, okay? To develop new skills or new approaches and to solve problems with direct application to the workplace or other applied setting, okay? Of course, second, we have the survey or yung tinatawag rin natin, class, na descriptive research. Ang survey or descriptive research class, it employs, of course, questionnaires and interviews to determine the attitudes, the opinions, the preference, or the and perceptions, class, of the interest of the researcher. Yan yung tinatawag natin na survey. From the word itself, survey, of course, basically, you will employ yung tinatawag natin na questionnaires and interview to determine yung opinions, yung preference, and perceptions of the, of course, the population or the respondents, as well as para masagot yung interest ng tinatawag natin na researcher. Okay, so yan yung survey or descriptive, okay, questionnaire. Okay, next, of course, we have the closed-ended question or the closed-ended questionnaire. Of course, that is, there is a pre-categorized by the researcher's word. Then, of course, the open-ended questions in respondent words. Ibig sabihin, ang closed-ended questionnaire, class, pre-categorized by the researcher words. Of course, that is the, yung tinatawag natin, class. Tandaan nyo, kapag closed-ended questionnaire, that is basically applicable sa tinatawag natin na quantitative research. Pag sinabi naman natin open-ended question naman, it is applicable, class, sa tinatawag natin na qualitative research. Okay? So kasi kapag close-ended, ibig sabihin, ano na lang sila, hindi na sila mag-explain. So more likely sa numerical ang tinatawag natin dyan. Okay? So yan yung tawag natin. Okay, then of course the open-ended question. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo, class? Nakuha na Lawrence? Bakit wala ka nandun ako sa UM, Lawrence? Saan ka doon? Yung araw na yon? Saan ka? Nung sa University of Mindanao ako? Naririnig ba, class? Naririnig? Baka hindi ako narinig na Lawrence. Naririnig ninyo? Giselle? Dan? Okay.
Yes po.
Okay. Akala ko. Okay. So yan. Baka may binabantayan ng bata si Lawrence eh. So yan. Kasi taga-UM yan siya eh. Hindi ko siya nakita doon sa final coaching last Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So let's continue class with our discussion. Okay. So yan. Then of course, meron tayong tinatawag na observational research. Ang observational research, meron tayong tinatawag, of course, collecting of direct information about human behavior. So that is the observational research. Of course, papaganahin natin yung ating mga senses. Then historical research naman, investigating documents and other sources that contain facts that existed or nangyari in the past. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na historical research. Of course, from the world of past. Of course, that is the historical research. Okay, so then of course, meron tayong tinatawag na evaluation research. Of course, that is the study of processes, procedure, methods for the improvement of the system. Yan yung tinatawag natin, class, na evaluation research. Process, procedures for the improvement of the system. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na evaluation research. Okay, sorry. Okay, next. Please read. Tapos na si Giselle, tapos na rin si Hannah, tapos na rin si Che. Okay, how about Bertodazo? Bertodazo, can you read?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
In writing the research report, this format uses parenthetical citation. A, old format. B, APA. C, new format. D, classic.
Okay, so in writing the research report, this format uses parenthetical citation. Again, in writing the research report, this format uses parenthetical citation. So what will be your answer in that question, class? Okay, so sa comment section na, okay, so let's explain or let's answer. Okay, so bakit si Dan lang yung sumasagot dito sa ating mga student ko? Okay, so first class, in writing research of a report, this format uses parenthetical citation. Ang parenthetical citation, class, ito yung tinatawag natin na parenthetical citation. Okay, example of book, of course, halimbawa, JD, Salinger's, then of course, explanation, and so on. So ang sagot natin dyan, class, of course, that is APA format. Okay, of course, we are now on the 7th edition. So ang APA format, pag sinabi natin APA class, ibig sabihin, okay, pag sinabi natin APA format, that is, of course, the American Psychological Association, we are now on the 7th edition. So makapupunta na tayo sa 8th edition soon. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na APA. So let's explain ano yung tinatawag natin na research report format. Okay, class. Okay, so we have the writing the what we call the research format. So APA format, class, make use of parenthetical citation. Again, ang ginagamit, class, ng tinatawag natin na APA format or the American Psychological Association, that is the parenthetical citation ang ginagamit. Then, ang old format used the Latin citation naman. Okay, Latin citations, of course, we have the IBID or IBID, OP, okay, and of course, endnotes or footnotes. That is under the old format class. Kapag ito yung ginagamit mo pa, so medyo kabahan ka na. Okay. Then, of course, we have also of course, we are now on the APA format, 7th edition. Okay, so in writing the research report. Then, of course, meron tayong tinatawag na URL o yung tinatawag natin na Uniform Resource Locator. Again, ang URL, that is the Uniform Resource Locator na tinatawag natin. Okay, so dito tayo, class. Of course, ito yung ano natin, class, tinatanggap na yung online or electronic sources. Of course, dati, napapansin niyo yung mga sources na mga old researches or mga theses and of course mga dissertations, merong nakalagay na retrieve from. Wala na yan ngayon, class, ha? Okay? So, ayan ito. URLs are no longer preceded by retrieve from. Nawala na yan, yung retrieve from. Unless a retrieval date is needed. Again, there is a retrieval date na kailangan lang. So the website name, class, is included na. Okay, kasali na yung included or kasali na yung paglagay ng website kung saan mo yan nakuha. Unless it's the same as the author, hindi na kailangan. And the web page title are italicized. Sorry, italicized rather. Sorry. Okay, italicized. So, of course, ito ang old format na tinatawag natin, class, diba? Kung titingnan niyo ang old format before, so nakalagay dyan, Walker, okay, comma, A, then period, 2019, November 14. Ang title ng research niya or ng study, Germany avoids recession but growth remains weak. Then nakalagay dyan, retrieve from. So, wala na yan ngayon, ha? Dati, that is under the old format. So, nakalagay HTTPS, then yung tinatawag natin na URL. Kasi ito yung tinatawag natin, class, na new format. So, Walker, comma, then of course, the first letter of the first name of the author. Tapos, 2019, yung date, then November 14, period. Then, yung tinatawag natin na title ng page dapat naka-italicized. Germany avoids recession but growth remains weak. Then, instead na ilagay mo dyan yung retrieve from, automatically, ilagay mo yung tinatawag natin na website kung saan mo yan kinuha, then preceded by yung tinatawag natin na URL or yung Uniform Resource Locator kung saan mo kinuha yung ano doon, class, yung link sa taas kung nagkakaroon ka ng research study. So, yan. Yung that is under the new format in the APA 7th edition. So again, wala na yung retrieve from na tinatawag natin. Nakuha ninyo? Naintindihan, class? Naintindihan
Yes,
Giselle?
coach.
Okay, good. Sige, so yan, class. So wala na yan, class. Okay, good. So yan, ang gagaling ng mga students ko. So yan, next. Okay, of course, we have the APA format, class, in the reference list. Okay, paglagay tayo ng mga references natin. So, ayan. So, ito yung mga ano niya. So, there are more than authors. Then, college students networking experiences, Journal of Applied Developmental Psychology. Then, wala na yung retrieve from, automatically yung kaniyang URL or yung link ng pinagkunan or kinunan mo ng yung source. Okay? That is the APA format reference listing. Then we have the parts of a research paper, class. Of course, we have the different parts of the research paper. Of course, we have the preliminary pages, class. Yan yung cover page, approval sheet, author's abstract. Okay? Then, of course, we have the table of contents and list of tables. Pag sinabi natin abstract, class, that is the brief summary of your research. Okay? So kung ano yung magiging or ano yung aabangan ng mga readers, okay, sa research mo. Ang abstract, that is the short or the brief summary of your research. Okay? So para sila, medyo mabitin sila. That is the abstract. Then of course, class, tandaan ninyo, yes, very good, Che. Okay, so pag nabasa ang abstract, may knowledge na sila kung saan about ang research. Yan, Very good yan. Then of course, aside from that class, ang abstract, doon maglalagay ka ng possible or yung findings mo. Pero hindi lahat kailangan mo ilagay doon. Yung pinaka meat or yung pinaka brief explanation ng findings mo, class. Para of course, mapukaw yung atensyon nila. Ganun pala yung nangyari. But of course, kailangan nila basahin para mas maintindihan nila. Kasi there is an abstract. Pag sinabi kasi nating abstract, di ba, merong abstract drawing, merong abstract na reasoning. Ang abstract, ibig sabihin, naka-base na yan sa interpretation mo. Di ba? Okay, so yan. Okay, interpretation. Then, of course, class, dito, familiarize nyo lang ito. The sections of a research paper, of course, following the IMRAD format. Okay, of course, the IMRAD format, we have the title. Ang title dapat, class, ng subject or ng research ninyo, dapat it should be centered in an inverted position. Okay, dapat naka-bold yan. Then of course, 8 to 15 words lang ang dapat. Okay, 8 to 15 words. Ito yung palagi kong strict ako pagdating sa research. So dapat 8 to 15 words lang ang pwede maging title. Then of course, nakalagay dapat ang author or authors ng mga reference ninyo. Then of course, yung mga reference ninyo, class, it should be listed in alphabetical order. Dapat naka-italicize the school and department. Then, ang abstract ninyong, class, dapat hindi susobra yan sa 300 words. Okay, of course, yung keywords ninyo, not more than 5, then naka-italicize. Ang introduction ninyong, class, dapat under the IMRAD format that is 1,500 to 3,000 words. Ang materials and methods, experimental design, methodology, non-experimental design, it should be 500 to 1,000 words. Then, ang results and discussions naman, of course, that is 1,500 to 3,000 words lang yung tinatawag natin na under the IMRAD format, class. Okay, tandaan nyo, ito lang yung kailangan natin in the IMRAD format. So, tandaan niyo, class, hindi mali yung sinusunod niyo sa school ninyo. Pero ang lalabas sa board exam ninyo is the IMRAD format kasi pina-follow natin yung IMRAD format in the board exam. Kasi every school, meron tayong tinatawag na institutional format. Ibig sabihin that it was crafted or created by your institution or by your school, by your university, or by your colleges. So meaning, class, wala yan. Hindi yan lalabas sa board exam. Kaya pala, bakit hindi lumabas yung tinuro ni ma'am sa amin? Ay, hindi. Hindi talaga lalabas yun. Kasi again, meron talaga kayong ginawang format sa school ninyo. Pero again, internationally, ang sinusunod ng board exam or yung sinusunod natin is the IMRAD format. Okay? So, IMRAD format, class, ang sinusunod natin pagdating sa board exam. Nakuha nyo? Nakuha, Che? Nakuha ba? Bakit walang sumasagot?
Yes po.
Okay, so yan. So, ganun ka
Yes, sir.
Yes, coach.
Okay, good. Sige, next, proceed na tayo. So, kapag ano nyo lang to, class, na-familiarize nyo lahat ng sinasabi ko pagdating sa board exam sa research, easy na lang yan. Kasi sa iba, medyo kinakabahan sila pagdating sa research. Ang dali lang ng research, class. Let's make it simplified or simple for you to understand. Okay, then of course, meron tayong tinatawag, ano yung kaibahan ng theoretical framework or the TF and this conceptual framework. Okay, of course, class, we have the theoretical framework. Of course, kailangan natin nalagay dyan yung mga theories. Ano ba? Classical theory yung pwede mong i-apply sa research mo. Dito naman, neoclassical or neoclassical and so on. So, while ang conceptual framework, ano naman yan? So, ang theoretical framework, class, the researcher constructed structure explaining the concept and premises from the theory or theories that ground the study. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta maglagay ng theory dyan, class, sa theoretical framework. Dapat, again, inline rin sa study mo ang theory na ilalagay mo, class. Again, sa theoretical framework, dapat, again, inline rin sa study mo ang nilalagay mo na theory. So, it will be the ground or it will be the base or it will be the foundation of your study. Yan yung tinatawag natin na theoretical framework. So, hindi agad-agad or hindi basta-basta ka maglagay ng theory dyan. Kasi again, at the end or on the explanation or the interpretation of the data, kailangan mo yung theory na yan. Okay? Nag-inline ba yung theory mo sa interpretation of the data? So, dapat, again, piliin mo rin yung theory na ilalagay mo sa research mo. While ang conceptual framework naman, class, of course, it is also a research constructed, logically developed argument. Okay, argument naman kasi concept ang kailangan mo dito. Justifying the need of the research study, shapes the study design and guides its development. Ibig sabihin, class, kailangan mo mag-create ng concept or argument na there is a need talaga to conduct a research study. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag natin na conceptual framework. Then, of course, how does this theory shape the study? Yan yung kailangan natin sa theoretical framework. Of course, kasi theory ang pinag-uusapan natin. Kapag sa concept naman, or yung argument na yon, why is this research important? Dapat ma-justify mo gaano ka-importante yung pag-conduct ng research na yan. How does it contribute to the knowledge? Meron ba tayong makukuhang aral or meron ba tayong makukuhang ano yun, kaabang-abang or importance or development kapag nakandak yung study na to? Then, of course, we have also selected, we have selected and operationalized to support the RQ and the Rex data analysis, evolves a new insight developed from the data. So, example, the stimulus elicits response. Yan yung theoretical framework mo. So, halimbawa sa conceptual framework naman, new teaching method improves students' academic performance. At the end of the research, kasi there is a concept na gusto mong introduce, ito na lang. Ito yung bagong argument natin para ma-improve yung academics performance. So yan, or new teaching method. Instead, halimbawa sa akin, di ba, ay kumbaga nagkaroon ako ng research. Instead na traditional ang approach ko sa lecture, yung, di ba, yung traditional, yung iba, kinaka-copy paste nila yung buong article tapos babasahin. So that is under the old format, no, under the old strategy. So yung sa akin dapat as much as possible naka-simplify na para hindi maboboring or hindi madaling maintindihan ng students lahat ng dinidiscuss ko agad-agad. Hindi na kailangan pumunta sa Mars. Hindi na kailangan pumunta sa ibang planeta para maintindihan nila. So again, yan yung kailangan natin. Kapag gano'n ang niisip mo, class, ay ganito, mag-introduce ako ng bagong teaching method. 'Di ba? Marami akong teaching method, class, kung napapansin niyo. Meron kaming sa Crim Coach. Meron kaming connect the dot, merong puzzle, merong Q&A tapos explain. Iba-iba yung methods namin, class, ang atake namin sa pag-explain ng topics. Kasi kapag isang sequence lang or isang ganito, mag-lecture ka lang buong maghapon, walang activities, walang maboboring ang student class. Pati ikaw maboboring. Hindi ko yung gusto. So that's why kailangan natin ng bagong concept. So that is conceptual framework, di ba? So bakit walang nag-absent sa akin? Ganito kapag face-to-face magkakaroon, lahat present hanggang matapos. Bakit sa isang lecturer, pagdating sa hapon, 5 na lang ang natira. So that is, kailangan mo ng teaching method or how to improve your teaching strategy. Okay, so yan. Yan yung tinatawag natin na conceptual framework. Again, ang theoretical framework, kailangan mo of course, mag-lay down ng theory. Of course, ng theory yun, gagamitin mo as the foundation of your study. While the conceptual framework, kailangan mo mag-develop ng bagong argument why there is a need to conduct that research. There is a contribution on the new knowledge or meron bang makukuhang knowledge out of that research. So, yan yung kaibahan ng theoretical framework and conceptual framework. Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo ba, Berto Dazo? Lawrence? Ana? Giselle? Okay.
Yes, Coach.
Okay, good. So, yan. So, yan So, na-explain ko na in a simplified form. So, dapat hindi na kayo mag-ano dyan. Okay, next tayo. Okay, so ito yung mga vulnerable individuals, class. Vulnerable individuals in research. Dapat we will make it, kailangan natin bigyan ng consideration. Of course, we have the children, institutionalized people, people with terminal illness, pregnant, and of course, the PWD. So sila yung mga tinatawag natin na vulnerable individuals in research. Again, so they are the vulnerable individuals in research. Okay, nakuha ninyo? So yan. Okay, then of course, class, statistics. Okay, that is the last part of our discussion. Ang statistic, class, of course, instead of explaining the phenomena or the situation or the area in words or in number or in opinion, so ang kailangan natin class kapag sa statistics, kailangan natin i-explain in yung phenomena in figures or in numbers. Yan yung kailangan natin class, what we call the statistics. Of course, from the words of statistics, numerical equation or formula. So of course, class, before ako nag-criminology, I am a civil engineering student. So that's why naabutan ko pa yung statistics na subject namin. But of course, I know how to teach statistics, yung basic lang. Okay? So yan. So kaya kumbaga powerful ka na lecturer kasi of course, di ba? So engineering tapos biglang engineering tapos biglang naging criminology, di ba? Of course, criminologist niya. Siguro kung hindi ako nag-shift ng criminology class, engineer na rin ako ngayon. So civil engineer. Pero baka hindi rin. So baka hindi yun para sa akin. So yan. Okay. So yan, class. Okay. So again, pag sabi natin statistics, instead of explaining the phenomenon, the situation or the area, in words, so i-explain natin in numbers. Then, pag sabi natin sampling, it refers to the method of choosing the subjects in a particular study. Pag sinabi natin again sample or sampling, of course, di ba, kailangan natin kumuha ng subset of population, okay, which the drawn, or kung saan intended yung ating research. That is the sample or the sampling. Then, of course, class, we have the different sampling methods na tinatawag natin na i-explain ko mamaya. Okay, dito tayo, tapos na si Dan, Giselle, Hannah, si Che, tapos na rin si Lawrence, si Bertodaso. How about Jamaica? Jamaica, nandyan ka? Okay, how about Christopher Somoso? Christopher Somoso? Bakit walang response si Christopher Somoso? Okay, babalik tayo class sa may sa available na. Okay, balik tayo kay Che.
It is also called probability sampling method, A, random sampling method, B, non-random sampling method, C, probability method, and D, non-probability method.
Okay, so what is your answer, class? On the comment section, please. Okay, so yan. Okay, so again, so what is your answer? Random sampling method. Okay, sinabi niya, it is called probability sampling method. So, ibig sabihin, class, other term ang kinukuha natin. Of course, the other term of the probability sampling method, yan yung tinatawag natin, class, na, okay, that is what we call, that is letter A. That is the random sampling method. Again, ang sagot natin dyan, class, that is the letter A, the random sampling method. So ano nga ba yung random sampling method, class, na yun? Okay, explain natin dito. Okay, so again, pag sinabi nating what we call the methods, of course, we have the random sampling method that is also known as the probability sampling method. Of course, Yan yung kaniyang yung sign. Okay, the random sampling or the probability sampling method. Ang random class, ganito yan, i-explain natin. Ang randomly, kapag halimbawa nagkakaroon ka ng research or nagkakanda ka ng interview, nagkakanda ka ng questionnaire, or nag-utilize ka ng questionnaire, halimbawa, ang subject mo are mga criminology students, criminology or third-year criminology students. So pag sinabi natin random, kung nakakita ka ng mga criminology students, randomly magbibigay ka doon sa kanila ng tinatawag natin na questionnaire. Pag sinabi natin random sampling method kasi, ibig sabihin, hindi ka mamimili ngayon kung sino yung bibigyan mo. Basta third-year criminology students, bibigyan mo, hindi ka mamimili. That is the random sampling method or probability sampling method. Again, random sampling method, ibig sabihin, wala kang pipiliin. Ibig sabihin, basta third year criminology student, okay, third year ka, okay, sige, sagutan mo to. Third year ka, pwede mo sagutan, that is the random sampling method. Ibig sabihin, class, there is a probability or yung probability sampling method, hindi ka ngayon mamimili kayon. Okay, hindi ka ngayon mamimili ng tinatawag natin na respondent of your study. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na random sampling method. Okay, nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? Nasundan? Retain? Oh, nasundan nyo na?
Yes, coach.
Okay, naturo ba to sa inyo yung mga random sampling methods or your undergrad? Hindi. Hindi ba? Then of course, we have the non-random sampling method class. Ang non-random sampling method, of course, kabaliktaran yan ni random. Okay? Ang non-random sampling method class, tinatawag rin natin yan na probability sampling method. Again, probability sampling method, non-random. Ibig sabihin ng non-random, ibig sabihin class, meron ka talagang specific. Yung third year criminology students na yon, meron kang tinatawag natin na specific na bibigyan. Ganito, yung 5-2 pababa, hindi natin bibigyan ng questionnaire. Dapat 5-2 pataas ang ating ang ating target. So that is what we call the non-random sampling method. That is also called as the non-probability sampling method. Nakuha niyo ba? Nakuha niyo, class? Nakuha ba?
Yes, coach.
Okay, so ganun lang ka-simple.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kasi kung titingnan ninyo, parang medyo complicated, no? Pero kung titingnan mo, i-explain mo, ang dali lang. So again, yung dalawang methods natin, pag sinabi nating random sampling method, ibig sabihin, randomly, wala kang pipiliin. Okay, lahat bibigyan mo. Ang non-random, ibig sabihin, there is a specific or meron kang specific na target audience or respondents ng study mo. That is the non-random sampling method. Okay, so yan. Then of course, we have the different random sampling methods. Okay, number one, we have the simple random, sampling method. Yung users randomly select a subset of population, ibig sabihin, wala siyang pipiliin, randomly. Okay, so kung sino yan, so kung sino yung available, siya yung bibigyan natin or bibigyan yan. Then of course, we have the stratified. Okay, ang stratified random sampling method class, yung tandaan nyo lang yung strata. Again, the population group is divided into one or many districts or units na tinatawag natin na strata that is based on shared behavior or what we call the characteristics. Okay, so yung grupo na to, they have the same characteristics or behavior. So that's why they will be grouped in one district or unit. So that is the stratified random sampling method. Then number 3, we have the systematic sampling method. Ang systematic sampling method naman, it is a method of selecting a fixed number of items from a population. Ibig sabihin, naka-fixed na. 30, 30, 50, 100, well, is 100. So that is the systematic sampling method. There is a fixed number of items from a population na dapat mo lang makuha or dapat mo lang mag-focus doon. Then we have the cluster sampling method. Ang cluster sampling method, the study of large populations. Okay, medyo malalaki na. 1,000, 500s, and so cluster. Cluster 1, cluster 2. Ibig sabihin, hahatiin mo yun by cluster. Para hindi ka naman mahihirapan. Okay, then of course, the multi-stage sampling. Ang multi-stage sampling, you draw a sample from a population using a smaller and smaller groups at age stage. Okay, there is the multi-stage sampling. Then, of course, dito naman sa non-random sampling methods, non-random, ibig sabihin, class, hindi ka mag-select. Okay? So, baliktad ba? Non-random, ibig sabihin, you will fix or meron kang selected participant or group talaga. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na convenient sampling or chunk or incidental sampling. Ibig sabihin, that is the easiest way for the researcher to access. Okay, so para makuha niya yung kaniyang technique or makuha niya yung kaniyang target audience. Then we have the judgment sampling. Ang judgment sampling, also called as purposive sampling or authoritative sampling. Okay, so yan. Then of course we have the purposive sampling. Okay, also known as judgment, selective, or subjective. Okay, subjective naman yung approach ng class. Okay, so yan ang purposive sampling. Then ang quota, okay, so from the quota sampling, there is a predetermined number of proportion of units. Okay, may quota kayo so ganito. Dapat yung 280 na yan, ma-fill in yung quota na yan. Okay, that is the quota sampling naman. Then the snowball sampling, palaging ginagamit yung snowball sampling. So it is a recruitment method that employs research into participants' social networks to access population. Okay, snowball palagi yung ginagamit, class. Okay, the snowball sampling. Okay, but of course, class, ang dapat nyo lang palagi dyan na dapat matandaan yung random and non-random sampling methods. Okay, yung kailangan natin. Then we have the two basic approaches to sampling. We have the probability sampling. Of course, ang probability, ibig sabihin, there is a simple random, stratified, cluster, systematic intervals. Ang non-probability, of course, the convenience, quota, purposive, or judgment, or yung tinatawag natin na snowball. Okay? So that is the non-probability sampling. Okay, so yan. Okay, so ayan, dito tayo mag-focus, class. Okay, pakibasa nga. Okay, so pakibasa, sino nga yung magano natin? Si Dan. Dan, pakibasa ng question natin.
The concept of regression is introduced by A. Carl Pearson, B. D. Dimois.
Demoir.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir Francis Galton, D. Karl Marx.
Okay, sige, what is your answer sa class? Sa comment section natin. Question. Okay, yung answer ninyo si Sir Francis Galton. Okay, ang the question is, the concept of regression is introduced by. Okay, so wait lang, class. I-charge ko muna yung laptop natin, baka malubat. Again, the concept of regression is introduced or was introduced by, of course, letter A, Carl Pearson, letter B, Dimois, letter C, Sir Francis Galton, and letter D, Karl Marx. Of course, ang sagot natin dyan, yung concept of regression that is introduced by Sir Francis Galton. That is letter C, class. Okay? Kaya susundan kayo talaga ni Sir Francis Galton. Concept of regression. Then, pag sinabi natin chi-square, class, okay, nasali pa si Che dito. Pag sinabi natin chi-square, ang tawag natin dyan is non-parametric test. Okay, it is given or it is the concept given, class, by Carl Pearson. Tandaan nyo nga, basta chi-square, it is also known as the non-parametric test. It is the concept given by Carl Pearson. Ang concept of normal distribution naman, it is given by Dimoir, and a person involved in si Laplace, si Gauss, and of course W. Uden. So yan yung concept of normal distribution naman kay De Moivre. Okay? Ang concept of regression, okay? So kay Sir Francis Galton, that is what we call during 1877. Okay? The concept of regression. Okay? So yan, class. Again, ulitin natin. Ang tanda niyo, pag sinabi natin chi-square, ang author niyan, class, is si Carl Person, and concept of normal distribution naman, si De Moivre. Ang concept of regression, that is kay Sir Francis Galton, in the year 1877. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na the concept of regression. So that's why Sir Francis Galton. Then, of course, we have the common statistical tools na ginagamit natin. Of course, for sample size, for sample or respondent, ang tinitingnan natin, we have the Sloven's formula, then we have the Parten's formula. For reliability naman, we have the split half method, the Spearman, the Brown prophecy, the Cornbach's coefficient alpha. For the test of validity, we have the standardized tool, pass through the panel of expert, use in other study. Of course, the test of validity. Magkakaroon ng panel of expert class ka, di ba? Iba-validate pa yung research ninyo para you can proceed on the next round. Okay, ito yung common statistical tools class. Ang gagawin nyo class, hindi naman natin kailangan i-explain to kasi hindi na nakaka-focus dito. So dapat familiarize nyo lang to class. Yung Sloven's formula, Parten's formula, for reliability, familiarize mo kung ano yung nakalagay dito. Then we have the test of validity. Okay, so yan, i-familiarize nyo. Yung binigay ko na PPT, yung presentation ko na to, so dapat sundan nyo. Okay, i-review nyo ulit. Then of course, yung recorded natin sa sa Telegram natin na So ulitin nyo lang palagi ito para ma-familiarize kayo class. So yan. Halimbawa, pagdating sa board exam, sasabihin niya, the following are the common statistical tools used to test the validity. Except, okay, the letter A, standardized tools. Letter B, standard through the panel of expert. Letter C, used in other studies. And letter D, Parten's formula. So meaning, ang hindi mo isasagot doon si Parten's formula kasi si Parten's formula is the test for sample size. Okay? So ganun ka ang importance ng, of course, familiar. Pero kapag you're not familiar with this, so hindi na-explain sa'yo, of course, wala kayong may sasagot, di ba? So yan yung tinatawag natin na common statistical tools in the common statistical tools na ginagamit natin in research. Okay? So then of course we have the sources of measurement errors. Okay, the sources of measurement errors, we have the environmental factors. Of course, pwedeng sa environmental or yung sa surrounding mo, researcher, ikaw mismo yung may ikaw mismo as a researcher, there's an error okay, sa pagkandak mo ng research. Instrumentation errors, yung instrument mo na ginamit is instead na quanti. Subject factors, of course, yung subject or respondents of your study. So yan, yung tinatawag natin na sources of measurement errors. So yan. Okay, then of course, we have the two categories of quantitative data analysis. We have the descriptive statistics class, and of course, meron tayong tinatawag na inferential statistics. Okay? So di ba, naging statistician ako ngayon. So the two categories of quantitative data analysis or descriptive. Ang descriptive class, ibig sabihin, so to organize, to summarize, or to describe the data, providing an organized visual presentation of the data collected. Of course, class, gagamitan natin yan ng mean, median, and mode. And measures of variable naman, of course, a range, interquartile range, variance, semi-quartile range, and standard deviation. So maraming descriptive statistics to summarize, to organize, or to describe the data. So kailangan natin ng descriptive statistics. Then we have the inferential statistic when you are not, of course, inferential statistics, of course, to estimate class or to estimate or to predict a population parameter from sample statistic. Okay, that is the what we call the descriptive statistics, the two categories of quantitative data analysis. Okay, so yan yung inferential statistics. So an understanding of the normal curve is essential to inferential statistics and includes an understanding of the symmetry, the skewness, and of course, the standard scores. Very important rin yung tinatawag na rin na Likert scale. Ang Likert scale class is a summative rating used to ascertain opinions or attitudes. Ibig sabihin, each item contains a range or scale response to a particular question. Ano sila? Okay, i-mute natin muna. Okay. So again, ang Likert scale class, 'di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng response. Okay, nakalagay doon strongly agree and strongly disagree. So yan yung mga Likert scale natin class to para malaman natin class yung opinion, to ascertain the opinions, the attitudes. Of course, kung ano yung range. Okay? So paano ba siya ka-disagree? Paano ba siya ka-agree sa tinatawag natin na topic na to? That is the Likert scale. Again, ang Likert scale, that is the summative rating scale used to ascertain opinions or attitudes. And each item contains a range of scaled response on a particular question stemming from strongly agree to strongly disagree. Yan yung tinatawag natin na Likert scale. Okay? Likert scale yan, class. Then, of course, we have the meaning of the literature and literature review. Ang literature class, tinatawag natin the body of knowledge that has been published about your topic. Then, ang literature review naman, or review of related literature, it is an evaluative overview of the state of academic knowledge on a research topic. So it involves the process of catching out and critical examination of what is already known about the research area. So again, ang literature, that is the works of scholars that will be published about your topic, while ang literature review or review of related literature, that is the process class na ginagawa mo class to ascertain or to compare and contrast your research based on the works of scholars. So again, ang literature, yun yung na-publish na ng mga authors, yung mga theses nila, mga dissertations nila, while ang review of related literature, yan yung ginagawa mo class. Nagre-research ka ngayon kung meron bang available literature or available existing studies na na-published para it will become your basis in interpreting your study. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin na literature review. Okay? So yan. Then of course, we have the writing secrets. Of course, we have the IMIS model. So this model of writing helps us to structure very well the paragraphs and paper in general. Yung I is for introduction, while the S is for synthesis or conclusion. IMIS model. Yung introduction, of course, the main idea, the illustrations, the synthesis, and of course, the synthesis. Okay, so yan yung IMIS model natin, class. Okay, so yan. From introduction to what we call synthesis or the conclusion of your study. Okay, so that is the writing secrets. Meron din tayong tinatawag na case model. Ang case model, that is, there is a model research that stands for keep it sweet, simple, and structured. Okay, ibig sabihin, imbis na pahirapan mong sarili mo in formulating your research or in crafting your research, you need to make it simple, structured, and sweet, di ba? So that is the case model. Okay, keep it sweet, simple, and structured. Okay, then of course we have the pearls of metaphor. So ang pearls of metaphors, it refers to the different beads that make up a beautiful set of pearls that make up a necklace. Okay, then of course, di ba, kapag sa research, di ba, may pagdadaanan ka talaga, pearls of metaphors. Ang blender metaphor naman, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ngayon gumamit class ng different sources within each paragraph, especially the introduction in the literature review. This makes a research paper much more scholarly. Ibig sabihin, nakakatalino yung dating niya. So, para makaagaw atensyon or makapukaw atensyon sa mga nagbabasa. So, make a blender metaphor. Ibig sabihin, bibigyan mo ngayon ng kakaibang flavor yung study mo. So, that is the blender metaphor. Then, we have the sandwich metaphor. Ang sandwich metaphor, this refers to the idea of a sandwich, di ba? When you make a sandwich, you put the ingredients between two pieces of bun. Okay, this is true about the way you make a direct quote. Okay, you should never have it in the beginning or at the end of the paragraph. You should always have sandwich in between your words. Ibig sabihin, So para to make your research interesting, okay? So dapat in between ilalagay mo doon yung mga discussion ng mga previous authors, yung mga previous researcher to make your research interesting. Okay? That is the sandwich metaphor. Then of course, class, we have the key terminologies before we will end our discussion. Of course, pag sinabi nating average class, that is the typical or normal mathematical average, mean, median, and mode. Of course, the applied research, ang purpose ng applied research class to solve the problem. Okay, while ang basic research naman, there is a theory development or refinement, or while the case study, there is an in-depth examination of the different sources, okay, or juvenile gangs. Hello, Ma'am Regine. Then, of course, we have the causal comparative research. Ibig sabihin, you wanted to know the cause or yung pinagmulan or bakit nag-exist yung problem na yan or reason behind or the behavior or status of groups or individuals. Then we have the chi-square. Ang chi-square naman, tinatawag natin na non-parametric test of significance or there is a frequency scan. Ang cohort study, there is a specific subpopulation of cohort is studied over time, and the concept mapping, display of concept formulation of theory. Concept mapping class. Balikan nyo yan mamaya class sa recorded natin sa Telegram. Okay, then of course sa PPT na binigay ko sa inyo. Then of course, tandaan nyo, there is a confidentiality, yung mga ethical consideration in research. Dapat concealing the identity of the respondent is very important, lalong-lalo na when your topic is confidential. Confidentiality is very much important. Then content analysis, of course, that is the recorded human communications, of course, yung books and related laws that is applicable to your study. Then we have correlational research, the degree relationship between two or more quantifiable variables. Pag sinabi natin quantifiable variables, ibig sabihin na may measure natin. So that is the correlational research. Then we have the criminological research, of course, that is the special branch of sociology, wherein nakafocus yan class sa analysis of crimes and criminal behavior to interpret the situation and to interpret the phenomena. That is the criminological research. Then we have the cross-case analysis, that is the examination of more than one case. Ang cross-sectional study, that is based on observation or single point in time. Ang data, systematic information. Ang dependent variable, wimpy or unimportant variable. So presumed effect, also known as criterion variable, the effect or post-test. Okay, so yan. Ang descriptive research natin, class, of course, summary na to ang descriptive research, it describe main scores with small number of numerical indices. Ibig sabihin, you will explain the phenomena, or you will explain or you will describe the situation or phenomena using numerical index or numerical indices or numerical, okay, ibig sabihin through numbers. Okay, then of course we have the discrete variable. From the word itself, discrete, ibig sabihin separate from one another, discontinuous in a case of gender and religious affiliation. Dapat there is a sensitivity on the religious side, and of course there is a gender sensitivity. Then of course ang evaluation research, of course na-explain natin kanina in detail. Ang evaluation research class, of course ang purpose niya is to determine or ma-evaluate yung processes, yung methods na ginagamit, then of course how to improve the system, and of course to impact of some social intervention program. Okay, so yan yung evaluation research natin. Then of course we have the historical research. Ang historical research class, again, as a summary na, so i-explain natin yung occurrence or explain the present events and anticipate the future events. Of course, class, that is the systematic collection and evaluation of data related to the past occurrences, kasi historical research. Ibig sabihin, yung mga pangyayari in the past, of course, kailangan mo siya dapat hindi mo rin siya pwedeng palitan, okay? Kasi of course, na mata-technical ka. So that is historical research. Then ang hypothesis, that is the specified testable expectation. Again, ang hypothesis, That is the specified testable expectation or yung tinatawag natin na educated guess. Okay, educated guess ang tawag natin dyan, class. Or may basis. Kumbaga, at the end of the day, at the end of the research study, malalaman mo ngayon or yung guess mo na yon nagkatotoo ba or hindi. So that is the hypothesis. Then of course, we have the independent variable, of course, the presumed to cause. Okay, so independent variable. Okay, then of course, we have the informant class. Ang informant, that is the well-versed in the social phenomenon that you wish to study. So kapag key informants ang kailangan natin class, ibig sabihin, sila yung tinatawag natin na subject in a qualitative research. Kasi kapag quantitative research class, ang tawag natin doon, respondents or participants of the study. Again, pag sinabi nating informant or key informant, sila yung subject. Kapag ang subject ninyo class or kapag ang approach ng research ninyo is the qualitative research. Kasi kapag quantitative research, ang ginagamit natin class na approach is what we call the respondents or participants of the study. So I hope it's clear. Then of course, pag sinabi natin interview, that is the data gathering technique wherein the person asks questions of another para makuha niya yung expected or yung hinahanap niya or intended result. Then we have the longitudinal study, that is the collection of data at the different points of time. Of course, pag sinabi nating mean, that is the arithmetic average or the set of score, yung average class. Of course, i-divide natin yan. The median, of course, that is the middle number. Okay, then of course, the meta-analysis, that is statistical approach, summarizing the results of many studies, non-prometric test of significance, the data represent ordinal or nominal scale, null hypothesis, that is the statement of no relationship or difference between variables. Yan yung tinatawag natin na null hypothesis. Okay? So, yan. Then, of course, we have the paradigm or paradigm. Ang paradigm or paradigm, ang tanda nyo lang dyan, that is the framework for observation and understanding. That is your foundation in your research. That is the paradigm. Ang parameter, that is the numerical index describing the behavior of the population. Ibig sabihin, the scope of your study. That is the parameter. Then, of course, the parametric test, that is the test of significance, or it is the data represent an interval or ratio scale of measurement, other assumptions have been met. Then participatory action research, ibig sabihin people being studied are given control over the purpose and procedures of the research. Then we have the pilot study. It is a small scale study conducted prior to the conduct of actual study. Parang ano siya, class? Parang yung parang briefing siya. So that is the pilot study. Before mangyari or before magkaroon ng actual study, there is a pilot. Ibig sabihin parang test muna. That is the pilot study. Then the population, of course, that is the group or results of the study to be generalized. Then the primary source, of course, first-hand information. Of course, the testimony of the eyewitness, yung kung sino yung naka-witness sa crime, sino naka-witness sa ganong title, original documents, relic, or description of the study. Then, of course, the qualitative analysis. Okay, instead of explaining the phenomena in numbers, i-explain natin ang qualitative class using based on your experience, based on your words. So basically, qualitative is based on opinion. So that is qualitative analysis. Then ang quantitative analysis, of course, instead of explaining the phenomena, the situation, or the area in words, we explain natin class using numerical representation and manipulation of observation. So yan yung tinatawag natin na quantitative analysis. Then of course, test of reliability, the quality of measurement method, ang sample, of course, the number of individuals selected from a population for the study. Then ang scientific method, of course, steps and research process, including observation, hypothesis testing, analysis of data, and generalization. Of course, scientific method class in order. Hindi ka pwedeng pumunta or mag-jump sa isa kapag hindi ka pa dumaan. Then split half, dividing a test into two equivalent halves and correlating the scores on two halves. Ang statistics, of course, that is the numerical index describing the behavior of a sample. Using, of course, numbers and using formulas, that is statistics. Then of course, ang theory, that is the systematic explanation for the observation. Ang triangulation naman, use of multiple methods, pwedeng descriptive, observation, and of course, pwedeng interview. Then ang unit of analysis, what or whom being studied, of course, that is the individual people. The validity class, of course, it will describing a measure that accurately reflects the concept it is intended to measure. Valid ba or validity? There's a validity. Variable, of course, that is the concept that can assume any range of values. Of course, pwedeng aptitude, gender. Again, ang variable class, ibig sabihin, mini-measure natin. Okay, so ayan. So okay, nag-end na ang ating criminology area, okay, ngayong araw. Okay, so thank you, class. Of course, we will continue tomorrow our discussion. So again, balikan niyo yung mga, ano natin na, yung mga previous, then yung part 1 natin kaninang umaga, balikan niyo lang sa Telegram. Then bukas class, nandiyan na sila na Sim. Magsa-start na tayo sa forensic science. Okay, forensic science. Siguro yung first natin na discussion bukas on polygraphy. Okay, on the lie detection techniques. Again, lie detection techniques na ang topic natin bukas sa forensic science. So within this hanggang Friday class, matapos na natin ang all areas of criminology. So yan. After that, Q&A na lang araw-araw, magkakaroon tayo ng Q&A na lang every day. So naka-prepare na yung mga Q&A natin. Merong 500, 300, 200 na mga Q&A every area. Yun. Irarasyo natin one by one. Then again, i-explain ninyo or magkakaroon tayo ng, hindi lang ako mag-explain every question dapat i-explain ninyo yan. Every question i-explain ninyo. Then after that, ako yung magsasabi kung mali ba yung sagot ninyo or tama. Okay, para everyone, kasi gusto ko nyo pagdating sa board exam, ready kayo. Kasi may times na yung tinuro sa inyo ng mga professors, lecturers, and instructors ninyo, wala yan class. 0, hindi lalabas. May times na gano'n Kapag hindi lalabas, of course, kapag itinuro sa student or sa reviewee, ay yung strategy or method on how to answer question. Kapag na-master niya yung class, kahit anong tanong ang ibigay mo sa kanya, masasagot niya. Okay? Kasi nga, na-train siya on how to answer criminology board question. Kasi kapag na-train lang siya na makinig, wala yan. Okay? So dapat malaman niya paano mag-eliminate, paano mag-focus sa TTK, yung title, topic, and keyword. So kasi kapag ganon, ibig sabihin ready na. Hindi na ako kabahan pagdating ng board exam na kahit anong ibigay na board exam question sa inyo, masasagot niyo yun. Kasi the skills, the strategy, the methods class, yun yung pinaka-importante sa board exam. Kahit ibigay ko pa sa inyo lahat ng topics, okay, lahat ng i-explain ko sa inyo class, pero wala kayong strategy on how to answer question, mababagsak pa rin kayo class. Ang pinaka-importante na matutunan ng student, of course hindi lahat, no? Okay, so dapat how to answer question, di ba? Paano yung atake? So paano ba ang kaya class sa amin sa Crim Coach, ang atake talaga namin palagi sa pagsagot, okay? So ano ba yung strategy on how to answer, di ba? So hindi pwedeng yung lang. Ito yung sinabi ng instructor namin na sagot diyan. Ito yung sinabi ng lecturer namin na magaling. Ito yung sagot, letter A. Kasi ganun daw Bakit letter A? Yun lang yung sabi niya. O diba? Walang explanation, hindi yun acceptable. Dapat, every question, nararasyo yan. Kasi every question may be similar, but it will never be identical. Okay? So, yan. Thank you for joining. Nandito na si Asibi, Nasim, Jamaica, Giselle. Okay, thank you everyone. So, see you again tomorrow. So, titingnan natin
Thank you, sir.
kung baka 8:30 tayo bukas. Okay, so thank you. God bless and stay safe.